Welcome to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, founder of the Reiki Business Collective and creator of the Build Your Reiki Business program, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Greetings, welcome, and thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. As always, I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing and honored to have you here. So thank you so very much. In this episode, we are talking about the DBA. What is it? What does it do? And do you need it for your Reiki business? So I want to make sure to mention, as always, when it comes to specifically business stuff, so the technical aspects of business stuff, I am talking about US-based Reiki businesses. I will not pretend to know anything about how business is done in other countries. I only know about US-based businesses, but this podcast is beneficial for Reiki businesses all over the world when we're not talking about these specific business kinds of topics. Now, if you are from somewhere else on this blessed earth than the United States, I'm sending you lots of blessings and best wishes. You are free to tune in to this episode, and of course, you're free to tune out and find another episode that is not focused on technical business stuff. So, thanks so much for tuning in no matter where you are in the world. The DBA stands for Doing Business As. And doing business as, this doing business is done on the state level. So when you file a business, when you create a business, when you set up a business in the United States, it's all done on the state level. So there's no federal filing of a business. I mean, if you're trademarking your business name, this is different because that's federal, but that's not the DBA. So we're going to focus in on the DBA, and that's also not a filing for a business itself. It's just trademarking a name. Anyway, the DBA is set up on the business level, on the state level. So business is done in the United States on a state level. So when you file a business, it's all done with your own individual state, and each state does its own thing. And so the process is different in each state, which also means that the name, what it's called, is also different in each state. Now, I'll explain exactly what it is in a moment, but I do want to make sure to mention that the DBA, Doing Business As, is called different things in different states. So some states call it a DBA, some states call it a fictitious name, some states call it an assumed name, some states call it an alias. What this does is it simply allows you to do business as a name other than your own. So a DBA, or a fictitious name, or an alias, allows you to sell products, services under a name that is not your personal name. And so what that means is that if you want to use some great Reiki business name, let's say that you've come up with an amazing name, you want your Reiki business to be called Chakra Healing Reiki. Sounds great, Chakra Healing Reiki. And you want to be able to use Chakra Healing Reiki. So you want to be able to put it on business cards. You want to maybe put it on signs. You want to put it on pamphlets. Chakra Healing Reiki. In order to do that, you have a couple of options. You can, number one, set up a formal business entity, an LLC, We won't discuss LLCs in this episode, but you can set up an LLC or you can set up a DBA, a doing business as, where you file with your state that you are doing business as Chakra Clearing Reiki. That was our name, right? Chakra Clearing? Yes. So you're doing business as Chakra Clearing Reiki. And that's really the name that you want to be using. So what that means is that if you are wanting to have a Reiki business that uses a cool Reiki business name, but you can't afford an LLC yet in your state, or for whatever reason you don't want to set up an LLC, no judgment, whatever you want to do, you can set up a DBA. As a matter of fact, you will want to at least set up a DBA to allow you to use that special Reiki business name, the Chakra Clearing Reiki name. I also want to mention here that not every state has a DBA option. So like Arizona, for instance, there's no such thing as a DBA or alias or assumed name. And it's totally cool or not cool. Check with Arizona. But it's not even an option for you. And so always check with your individual state. Always make sure that you are following the rules and regulations of your own individual state, because there are 50 of them, and I ain't going to pretend to know all of the things for every single one. But the DBA, by and large, whether it's called a DBA, assumed name, fictitious name, or an alias, depending upon your state, is going to allow you to do business as your assumed name or an alias, the name that is not yours, the Chakra Clearing Reiki name that is not your personal name. And so the way that you would do this is that you file that on the state level. And so you go to your state's Secretary of State. It's different things in different states. By and large, it's the Secretary of State. Some states, it's the Commerce, whatever it might be. And you file the formal paperwork to have your business able to do business under a name other than yours. Now, if you don't want a fancy Reiki business name, if you just want to use your own name and just do business under your own name, great. You don't need to do this at all. You can indeed do business under your own name without filing any kind of paperwork at all. You would be operating under a sole proprietorship, which, by the way, a DBA is still a sole proprietorship. So it's just a sole proprietorship in which you're operating under a name other than your own. But it's still a sole proprietorship. And a sole proprietorship is a business that you and the business are one and the same. So the business is not separate from you. You are the business is you, and there's no legal separation there. But the DBA will allow you to use your cool Reiki name that you want to use. Now, there are a couple of things I really want to encourage you to do before you start using your cool Reiki business name, in addition to filing it with your state. I want to encourage you to first and foremost check the registry of your state. So go to your state's business entity registry and search for the cool Reiki name that you want to use. So search for Chakra Clearing Reiki. That's our name, right? Yeah. Chakra Clearing Reiki. So search for Chakra Clearing Reiki, because what you don't want is to start the process, try to file Chakra Clearing Reiki, and then find out that someone in your state already has it. You don't want that. The state will reject your request and will not allow you to do it. Because since filing is done on a state level, you want to make sure that you don't have a name that someone else in your state has, or that it's too similar, because the state will reject it. So I don't know if they'll keep your fee. As a matter of fact, I don't know if they'd probably keep your fee. But check that first to make sure. I also recommend checking the federal trademark system, TESS, TESS, the federal trademark system, just to make sure that the name that you want to use is not federally trademarked. Chances are good that it is not, but you'll just want to check that and make sure too. Now, there are some stipulations here where you could potentially still use a name that is trademarked if it's not too similar to what you are already doing. So if it's not too similar to Reiki, or if the name has been abandoned or something else. So you could potentially still use chakra clearing. Well, no, you could, if chakra clearing Reiki is active. No, you couldn't use that because it's too similar. The name of what it is clearly there, and what it does, Reiki. But what I'm saying is that just because you search for something in the trademark database, the federal trademark database, and something comes up, doesn't mean that automatically you can't use that name. But I always recommend checking the TESS database, TESS, federal trademark database of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, to make sure that a name that you want to use is not federally trademarked. Because indeed it can happen where you file a business name with your state, and it's okay with your state, but it's federally trademarked, and therefore it's not okay with the trademark owner. Now, there's lots more to say about trademarks, including that if you do file a trademark, and if you the onus, the responsibility is on the trademark owner to make sure that no one is infringing upon the trademark. So there's no government agency that checks to make sure that there's no trademark infringement happening. That's the owner of the trademark's job. But the state database will be something that you absolutely will want to check and make sure that someone else in your state is not already operating with that name, because the state does not want any confusion to take place for the consumer. That's what it's all about, making sure that the consumer isn't confused by similar business names. And so if someone already has chakra clearing Reiki, or if there's something that's so similar that the state would be like, well, this is too similar, people are going to be confused, then you wouldn't be able to use it. So always check your state's registry. Then you would just file the paperwork with your state. A DBA is by and large going to be much cheaper than filing an LLC in your state. An LLC is a separate business entity, so it means that you are separate from your business. An LLC, limited liability company, you are separate from your business. And the DBA just allows you to do business under your special Reiki business name. It does not separate you from your business, so it means that you are still financially, legally responsible for anything that the business is financially or legally responsible for. So that's important to know. But many business owners will start with a DBA because they really want to use their cool Reiki name, but they don't have the funds to be able to start an LLC. So that's up to you. You know, an LLC, of course, has a lot of benefits that the DBA does not. So that's something to keep in mind. The DBA is also very commonly used by established businesses. So what that means is that your business can indeed set up a DBA or an alias to do business under a different name. And so that means that, let's say that you do choose a business name. You are Chakra Reiki Healing, no, Chakra Healing Reiki, Chakra Cleansing Reiki, whatever our name is. You are that name. And let's say you have an LLC as that business name. But now you want to do business as Chakra Balancing Reiki. You want to change your name and do Chakra Balancing Reiki and sell products under the Chakra Balancing name, or use the Chakra Balancing name on all of your pamphlets and brochures, your business cards, whatever. You're tired of chakra. See, we're so tired of it, we can't even remember what it was. And we just want to go with Chakra Balancing Reiki now. You can set up your LLC as a DBA. So it would be Chakra Clearing Reiki LLC, DBA, Chakra Balancing Reiki. And this is something that businesses do quite frequently when they want to operate under a different business name, sell products under a different name, and they don't need to dissolve their original existing business. They just need to add a DBA and claim that they are doing business under that name. So for instance, my business is Standing Stones Healing Company. That's the official LLC. And if I wanted to start selling products under a different name, let's say Reiki Business Collective or Build Your Reiki Business Podcast. I wanted to start selling Build Your Reiki Business Podcast stuff. I could set up a DBA for my LLC. And so it would simply be Standing Stones Healing Company. That's my formal business name. DBA, the initials DBA, Reiki Business Collective, if I wanted to start doing business as the name Reiki Business Collective. And so I would be able to sell products, collect money, and do business under the Reiki Business Collective name that is under the blanket of my LLC. And so that's something that you can do with a DBA as well. So DBAs are not just for new Reiki business owners. They are for established businesses that want to do business under a different name other than their original business name. So that is a DBA. Again, a DBA is not going to provide you with the same kinds of benefits of an LLC. The benefits of legal protection of your personal assets, the benefits of limited liability. A DBA doesn't do any of that. It really simply allows you to use the really cool business name that you want to use and to conduct commerce under a name other than your own. So I encourage you to check out the free article, DBA LLC OMG. It goes into more depth in the DBA and explains how it's different from the LLC. And you can get that as part of the free Reiki Biz Kit at standingstoneshealing.com/Reiki Biz Kit. Well, no matter what Reiki business name you're using, no matter what it might be, chakra aligning Reiki, chakra clearing Reiki, chakra balancing Reiki, no matter what your business name is or might be in the future, I'm sending you lots of blessings and lots of best wishes for your Reiki business. Thanks for tuning in to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend. Learn more about the Build Your Reiki Business program at standingstoneshealing.com/build, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business.